Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. I was browsing through my Instagram today and I saw this photo and I fell in love with it. So I am going to try to recreate it miniature style. All the materials that you will need for this project will be in the description below. You will need 3 pieces of dowels, 2 measuring 4.5 inches, 1 measuring 5.5 inches, and some basswood measuring 5.5 inches wide. Glue these pieces together to complete the footboard. Apply glue to one of the 4.5 inches to the 5.5 inches, clip, then add the basswood, apply glue to the other side, and attach the other 4.5 inches clip, and then allow it to dry. Use your Q-tip to remove any excess glue that might be seeping through. You want to repeat the same step, this time using 7.5 to 7.5 inches dowel, 5.5 inches dowel with 5.5 inches wide basswood. Once the headboard and footboard are completely dry, mark from the base 2.5 inches up. Repeat the same for the footboard as well. Cut 2 11.5 inch dowels. Glue at the line. Once you have glued both rails to the headboard and the footboard, cut jumbo popsicle sticks. Add glue to both ends. Add some to the top. Glue the first one to the headboard, making sure that some of the glue touches the headboard as well. Repeat the steps. Add some glue to this side. Add it to the footboard, or close to the footboard. Then place the remaining popsicle sticks just a little bit with a little bit of space in between. Once you're finished, place a book on top and allow it to dry. Now that our bed is dry, it's time to sand and paint. Sew all sides together. Leave an opening at the top so that you can turn it on the right side. Glue several layers of cardboard together. This is about 6 different layers of cardboard, 5.5 times 11.5 inches. Glue some felt to the top and the sides, leaving the bottom as is. Insert it through the opening. Then with your needle and thread, sew the bottom. Okay, so I've completed the bed with the mattress, the cover, and the pillows, which I will reveal in the end. The next item I will be working on is the bench that is at the foot of the bed. It's a fairly easy bench to make. So I've cut 10 pieces of 1/4-inch dowel for these 4, which will serve as the leg, and they measure about 3 inches. 2 for the longer side of the bench, and those are 4.5 inches, and then four more for the side, the shorter side of the bench, which are about 2 inches. And in the picture it doesn't show that it has 4, it's just simple as ever, but the reason why I cut 4 for the shorter side is so that I could use 2 as support at the bottom for the stability of the bench. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to glue the legs to the longer side of the bench. Okay, so now that the first set is glued, I'm gonna glue the shorter sides, one at the top and one at the bottom on the leg, and then you're gonna repeat on the other side. Once you have glued the 4 remaining pieces to one side, take the other piece and glue it to the other side. Okay, so I've glued all the pieces of the bench together, and while I set it aside to allow it to dry, I'm gonna work on the seat of the bench. So here I've cut a piece of cardboard, and if you can see, I made little dots on there. So it's one on this side, one on the other side, and then I make one in the middle. Then I repeat, one on one side, one on the other side, one in the middle, one on one side, one on the other side. Then I cut a piece of material slightly bigger, or a whole lot bigger than the cardboard. And what I'm gonna do, I have some fillers right here, and I'm gonna place them on the material. You just put a small amount, place the cardboard on top, and then I'm gonna take my needle and put it on one of the dots. Once you've sewn it, you should have something looking like this. Okay, so make sure that whenever you're starting a new point, you cross it over on the back, since this side is not going to show. And just to make sure that once you pull the thread through on this side, you pull it tightly so it could make a little indent. So now what you're going to do is you're going to gather the cushions, push them inside, and start gluing the sides on the back. Okay, so once you're finished gluing the sides to the back, you're gonna cut a piece of material and then you're gonna glue it to the back. Now this is what I believe is a dust cover for a couch that we had bought some time back, and I still had a piece, so I'm gonna use this to cover it. And the reason why I'm gonna use this is because it's very thin, so it won't really show. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna cut it a little slightly smaller than the seat itself. You can use the same material that you use to cover the front, but I want to use this one because it's thinner, and I mean, I like it. Okay, so it's glued and it's ready to go. I love the way it turned out. The good thing about this is that it was so quick, so easy to make, that I am still waiting on my bench to dry. So while I still wait on that to dry, I'm gonna set everything aside, wait on it to dry, and then I'll be back once it's dried. How I made the room. I'm just making a corner room here. So I cut a piece of foam board measuring 17 times 17, and then 2 pieces of foam board measuring 17 times 13 inches. And now when we're finished, we're just gonna put them together like this for a corner room. I don't know if you can see it. On the 2 smaller pieces of foam board, you're gonna paint, and then on 1 piece of the foam board, you're gonna cut out windows. Next, you want to cut some strips of foam board and glue them around the windows. Next, glue your walls adjacent to the floor. So you have a corner room. Okay, so in the picture they had wooden floors. So in order to create my wooden floors, I took popsicle sticks, jumbo popsicle sticks, and I cut the ends of the sticks, and I'm going to glue them to the floor. So I've completed the first row. Starting on the second row, you want to cut the popsicle stick in half and then paste it. So the second row is completed. Starting on the third row, we're just going to paste it at the same length as the first row. Okay, so the third row is completed. So what you're going to do is every other row, you're going to cut the first stick in half. Okay, so I'm finished gluing all the popsicle sticks on the floor. It took me about 2.5-ish pack of jumbo popsicle sticks to complete. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to either paint the floor or stain the floor. I'm not quite sure which one I want to do. However, I want the floor to be a little bit darker than what it is right now. Once I'm through with that, I am going to put some trims around, just cut some strips of foam board, and I'm going to place them along the floorboard and then also at the top. If you can see this right here. Yes, it's also at the top, because when you paint or any moisture touches foam board, you'll see it kind of have a little bowing. It's kind of bowing in the middle right there. So I'm going to try to attempt to make it a little bit straighter. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I will show you the finished product. Okay, so my floor is stained. The trims are all in place. So the next scene you'll see is a fully decorated room. Stay tuned. Okay, you guys, so this was our inspiration. So drum roll, please. And this is what we came up with. I love it. I think I got it down to a T. Everything is perfect. From the lamps to the pillows to even the bedspread. Oh my God. Look at the little poof on the wall. Is that what it is? I don't know what it was, but I think everything is perfect. Let's take a little zoom. So the only changes that I made in the room, I wanted the room to have a pop of color. So this piece on the wall, I created it and I add some colors to it just to give the room a little bit of color. However, everything in the room just turned out perfect. I love it. No, I'm just kidding, but I love it. It is gorgeous.